Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm sure all of you, or most of you, in the ME community are already very familiar with this term, doppelganger. It's not one of my favorite words. It's kind of a strange word, but I've experienced it several times, and it's where you see another person who looks like either you or someone else has seen another you, or you see someone that looks like someone you know. So, this time it happened on Saturday. Mama and I were driving to go pick up my father from work. And as we stopped at the red light, to the left of us, we turned and saw this pickup truck. And driving it was my pop-up. Well, it looked just like him. I mean, he had the same lip twitch, the same issue with the same facial issue where his lip would twitch. He had that same persona. And he looked at us and stared at us as he was driving off. And it gave us both chills. It was like a movie situation. Something you would see in a movie. And Mama and I said, life is so strange. And he was telling them, the person next to him, I know them. They look super familiar. Well, a very similar situation happened. It was my pop-up, by the way, who's my grandfather on my daddy's side. I have my nana and pop-up, and then there was my pa and my granny on my mama's side. So, a situation took place where years ago I saw a guy in Walmart that looked like my pa, my grandfather on my mama's side. And he was just sitting there looking at me, sitting on the TV boxes, just staring at me, wearing the same overalls, everything. Just the same clothes. And he just looked at me, nodded, got up, and just walked off. And I walked on another way. It was just like, it was weird. It was surreal. Well, seeing my pop-up yesterday, on Saturday, because it's after midnight, it'll be yesterday. Just 2 weeks ago or so, my father and I were driving up to my nana's house, and we saw a look-alike of her, an exact copy, in the same vehicle that one of my aunts drive. And it was her vehicle. But it was slightly different, though. It was slightly different than her vehicle, but it was just minor differences. Just minor differences. And they were driving by, so we called her up and we had actually just called her up and said, hey, we're heading on up there and hope you get the voicemail into the call. Because it said, hello, no one is home to receive your call. And we thought, well, we're late. We just missed her. That was her. It was her clothes. It was her persona. It was her look, everything. It wasn't her. Because when we got there, she was there. But the weird thing is she didn't come out right away. It was like she wasn't home and then she was. Like a shift. And then she came out and said, oh, I've been here. Yeah, I've been here the whole time. So, and then we told her about that. And she said, well, it wasn't me. Not this me. She made a statement like that, but which used to she didn't believe anything like that. She's a little bit more aware of things now, that things have happened to her. So, my cousin saw her fiance somewhere, and then she called him and found out it wasn't him. She said, good to know that it's not you. Same car and everything, apparently. I think that's what they stated. So, another situation took place years ago, where I saw a boy that I went to school with, but he was the same age. I've shared this on my channel before. He was the exact same age that he was when I was in elementary school. He looked exactly the same haircut, but here's the really interesting part. He was wearing the same type of clothing style that they would wear in the early 2000s, that we would wear back then when going to school. That's the kicker. That is really that's just what blew my mind, is that it was the same exact person. And he was with his grandfather. And he said, I know him. And he looked at me and pointed and told his grandfather, he said, I know him. And his grandfather looked like, well, maybe you've just seen him somewhere. And that's what I said at the same time. Like, I know that kid. I know that guy. That boy. And it's just something else. Maybe it was another copy, but what caused the situation what caused that for him to say, I know him? Was it the sudden download of the memory from an alternate reality? Was it a glimpse into like a deja vu situation of a parallel universe reality, whatever the heck. Some people don't buy that theory, but I think when the Lord comes, He's going to make all one. We're going where we're going. What's going to happen is going to happen. He's going to make it all one. And He's going to balance everything. All right. So, what do you think causes the doppelganger situation? Because sometimes they seem to get a download, so to speak, of the memory of them that you had, while other times it seems that they're just there unaware of the memory that you've had. I had a guy talking to me several years ago saying, "You're that cool guy at Walmart." And I'm like, sure, I like to think of myself as cool. People think I'm cool, but that wasn't, I was like, I don't know where you're talking about. And he said, "You're the cool guy." And everyone knew me there. Well, this other guy told me, "You're that guy that works over at that Walmart." He said, "Really? There's a guy that works there. Same energy, same persona, same walk, same movement. It's you to a T." And I said, I don't work there. It's at this Dollar General. I was talking to this guy, and he said, "Really? You've never worked there?" I said, "No, I've never worked there." And he said, "Huh. Well, that is crazy." He said, "If I saw him, I would have sworn it was you." And he said, if he could have committed a major, huge crime, and he said he could have offed someone, and he said, "I would have thought it was you." And I said, "Well, that's crazy." That was years ago. And, it wasn't me. It's not me that worked there. But he said it looked just like me. He said it was to a T. So, that's another one of those situations. And it's just, there's been so many scenarios of that. But when a person meets someone face to face that looks a lot like them or just like them, I've noticed that a lot of celebrities, so to speak, that you'll see have people from the past that look just like them. But now some people see that as a harbinger of bad luck. Apparently, other traditions talk about an evil twin, but a lot of times they said it's often used in a more general and neutral sense to describe a person who physically resembles another person. But it's getting weirder how people seem to look just alike, and we've had so many situations where people look just like someone that we know. And I mean, there was someone else that had a voice and a movement and the hairstyle and clothing style and just everything that matched my Nana. And my mama and I were like, man, she does match her. Everything about her. And I helped this lady out. I went over there and my mama said, she needs help. And I was like, oh, okay. And I went over there and I helped her put this box in her car. She couldn't lift it. She couldn't get it in there right. So I helped her get it in the car, her SUV or van or whatever it was. Can't remember now, and I helped her out. And yeah, so that is another list. This is another list of those situations. Peace, signing out, and much love, everyone.